Still nervous about finding a new apartment?
Yeah, but popping these things really helps me relax. Please don't. I'm saving those for later.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about renter's insurance. Just go to geico.com.
Geico helps with renter's insurance. It's good to know.
Been doing it for years.
That's really good to know. I'll check them out.
Get to know Geico and see how easy homeowners and renters insurance can be.
Inside everyone is an incredible cook. Someone who can cook an amazing meal any night of the week. Farm fresh ingredients, step-by-step recipes, delivered to your door for as low as $7.49 a meal. Visit BlueApron.com to get $40 off.
Moments away here from starting the second half. Sophia Smith has been absolutely fantastic.
Well, this is the movement that you love to see out of your center forward. Sophia Smith is somebody who is good in tight spaces when there's numbers and players around her. She can still find the separation she needs, but she also has the pace to be able to get in behind and expose defenders who don't have cover. She's tough to defend when you've got numbers around her, but she's almost impossible to defend when you're trying to defend alone.
And again, she is one of the youngest on this roster, just 17 years of age. She was on the U-18 team, was called up to play on this U-20 team, and even admitted that she was a little bit nervous to do that, but she's fitting her in just perfectly. And the second half is underway. It'll be interesting to see what kind of momentum and what kind of energy the Americans come out to begin this second half. Already leading here 3-0.
Well, I think momentum and energy are important. We've talked about this earlier, but building confidence, building momentum throughout a tournament is how you win a tournament. And Jitka Klimkova, she told us that their goal is to stay in France for 35 days, the entire length of this tournament. They don't want to go home at group play, and they want to find a way to get into the quarterfinal stage and then continue to evolve from there.
Klimkova also told us they didn't even talk about the 2016 result where they finished in 4th place. Again, Smith trying to make things happen, finds Sanchez! 4-0 USA!
This is the exact start that the United States wanted. You see Sophia Smith finding the separation behind the back line, having the presence of mind to get her head up, find the exact right runner in Ashley Smith. Savannah DeMello also in the box, Erin Gilroy. Savannah DeMello in the celebration saying, big five, big five. So often, coaches and players talk about big five moments, those moments coming right out of a half, right after a goal is scored, right at the beginning of the game, where you can build momentum and capitalize upon key moments.
6 goals this year for Ashley Sanchez, half of her goal total, 6 of the 12 coming this year. Paraguay looking to counter. That time, Smith made the right decision, as you were talking about.
She finds Ashley Sanchez, who gets the separation she needs, and now it's Ashley Sanchez looking to try to return the favor.
Sanchez, a UCLA product. Again, Smith will play her soccer at Stanford. The defending national champs at the collegiate level. I mentioned that she is just 17 years old as Smith goes down to the field. You were one of the youngest on that 2000 Olympic team. How do you handle it when you're playing and you're one of the youngest on a roster that you respect and you're a little bit in awe of?
Well, you put your head down and you do the work, but you also rely on the senior and the veteran leaders around you to listen and to learn and to absorb. And it seems like Sophia Smith is somebody who has done just that. As she continues to have chances and doors open for her at the next level, one of the things she's admitted to is just working hard and trying to prove that she deserves to be there.
Here's DeMello again, laying it off for Smith. Offside call. Just about a half a second offside.
And one of the things I like to see, look at number 13, Kiki Pickett, the right back, looking to get involved there. I think that's an area that the United States can exploit more, get those outside backs involved. Miquillon did it somewhat in the first half, but Pickett was pretty quiet on that right flank. Look for her to get more involved in the attack. She certainly has that ability.
Well, Kiara Pickett, Ashley Sanchez, a couple of those players who scored in that U-17 meeting against Paraguay. This is the only time that these two nations have met at the U-20 level. And the U.S. has absolutely dominated. 4-0 advantage when they were up against it going into this match. Need a result to be one of the two teams, or give themselves a chance to be one of the two teams to advance out of group play. Slips the pass through. The Americans have some numbers, and coming out is Ortiz. Isabel Ortiz, no fear for Paraguay. Rosa Mino is out. And Celeste Aguilera is in. That is the second sub in this match for Paraguay. Just a few minutes into this first half, what do you want to see from the Americans?
Well, I want to see the United States continue to exploit the space in behind the midfielders of Paraguay and in front of their defenders. The game looks to be getting a little bit stretched. You find Savannah DeMella, Sophia Smith in that space. I think that's part of the reason for the substitution by Paraguay. Those legs are looking a little tired. They need to stay a little bit more compact. It's one of the strengths of those Paraguayan teams, being compact and then looking to break on the counter.
Here's Smith. Again taking on, this time going end line. The foot save from Ortiz at the top of the box. Little miscommunication via Corta. Will turn. Miquillon back to Gilroy, to Miquillon. And changing the point of attack, another emphasis, an open net. Villacorta lays it off again to Gilroy. The physicality as Sandoval comes over. DeMello.
And this is the confidence and the rhythm and the mentality we expect to see out of this United States team. Continuing to put Paraguay under pressure, continuing to chase that fifth, maybe even that sixth goal, knowing how important goal differential will play in Group C.
Well, again, Savannah DeMello already 2 goals in this match in the 39th minute and 44th minute. We've already seen 1 hat trick in group play, that coming from Spain against Paraguay. Guijarro got it there, and DeMello looking to do the same here today.
DeMello having a very solid performance. Sophia Smith obviously making an impact on the score sheet and continuing to find ways to get in behind.
And she can attack from both sides of the field. Good hard tackle from Lorena Alonso.
But again, if I'm Coach Klimkova, I'm starting to think about substitutions. As impactful as Sophia Smith has been in this game, she might be somebody you want to give a few moments of rest to. Savannah DeMello potentially as well, and just getting experience for some of the players who haven't had as many minutes. You never know when later on in the tournament you may need to call upon them.
Here's Sanchez, who will play it in. Ball is loose. And Pickett will play it back. The Americans having their way here in the attacking third, even to begin this second half. Never before in World Cup U-20 history have the U.S. failed to make it out of group play. And Martinez trying to play it out of harm's way. Jitka Klimkova not talking about with this team and not emphasizing with this team the 2016 finish in 4th place. New team, different emphasis, different kind of talent as they lay it off for Smith. Villacorta will let it fly. Deflection as DeMello chases it down. And that was a good reaction from the 16-year-old in net.
The United States continuing to put the pressure on. A slight little deflection, but Ortiz reacts well. And then DeMello has the presence of mind to try to recycle it. But Villacorta getting involved in the attack. Jalen Howell, even though she is that defensive center mid, finding a way up into the attacking third.
A target on set pieces in particular in the air, and nearly had herself a goal here in 2018.
Well, Lisa, you talked about this idea of being a new team and having a new emphasis from Klimkova, but I can say one of the things that is always emphasized on the United States women's national team, whether it be at the senior level, the under 20, or the 17 level, is the expectation of being competitive and finding a way to win. I mean, the reality when I was playing for the team and the reality for these women is you win or you win. Those are the options, and that pressure can be a lot of pressure, but understanding how to manage that expectation is part of being able to put on this red, white, and blue jersey for the women.
The fans pay attention, the senior national team paying attention. You go on the Twitter account of the junior national team and you see the good luck post from the senior national team. They are watching these youngsters.
And one of the players who is not on this roster, Tierna Davidson, she was involved in the qualifying campaign back in January, but has gotten a call up, recently played in the Tournament of Nations for the full senior side. So as you mentioned, players from the top all the way down looking to funnel up towards that senior team. Play here in France next year for the Women's World Cup.
And that's part of the interesting dance and the dynamics with some of these youth clubs and these youth teams. Not only are some of them called up to a higher level, you have to dance in and around the college season. A lot of these players, most of these players, heavily involved with their college teams, if not going to be involved with their college teams. A set piece opportunity for the Americans. There's Howell, always seems to find her head.
Jalen Howell, just look at that strength. Look at that competitive spirit, willingness to try to get to that ball first, looking to flick it to the far post.
And a different dynamic in the 2016 World Cup. It was played in a different time of the year. It crossed over with the collegiate season. Those players had to redshirt that year for their respective college teams. Here's Sanchez. Sanchez taking it end line, floats it up. DeMello, no. Smith couldn't get to it. And there it just seems to be a calm and confident demeanor to the Americans in the second half.
Yeah, 4 goals to do that for you. But in all seriousness, yes, the possession, the rhythm, the confidence, the combination play has been much better than we saw in the first half, much better than we saw against Japan in the first game. And it's going to be important to do the same and build the same in preparation for the Spain game on Monday. Things, small details that you might be able to get away with against Paraguay, you likely won't be able to get away with in terms of speed of play and changing the point against an organized team like Spain.
Again, Spain beat this Paraguay team 4-1, so a +3 goal differential in that match. Here is Martinez, who's looking to control. Miquillon tracked back. We saw a Japan team that played more of a compact possession style. And again, that is the direct style Paraguay likes to play with. Really that's kind of the unique style of play in this group between the four teams. Martinez turning, and a corner coming up.
Jessica Martinez, by far the most experienced player for this Paraguayan side, playing in 2 under-17 World Cups and now 2 under-20 World Cups, in addition to being a part of the full senior Paraguayan national team pool.
To the top of the 6, cleared nicely. Some space to work with for Sandoval. Out to the right flank. Aguilera. And a solid few minutes for Paraguay in their attacking third.
Wait a second.
Bogarin is slow to get up. Played 64 minutes in that match against Spain. And we will have eventually, this is our first substitution for the U.S. as Gilroy gets a nice hand. And there's our first look at Brianna Pinto, who made a difference, had some good minutes against Japan. She is 18 years old. Another substitution, Sanchez. And Abigail Kim will step in. Had a near assist in the 70th minute against Japan.
Number 2, Ashley Sanchez, is replaced by number 17.
And here's the final substitution. Chamorro, who did not start in this match, will take the place of Jessica Sanchez. Elise Chamorro will be playing in Spain next season. So she knew a lot of those opponents on the other side when they were playing in Spain in that first match. And Bogarin calling for some help there on the sideline.
And keep in mind, Paraguay has made its 3 full substitutions as they attend to Bogarin on the left flank.
She just kind of pulled up. It was a non-contact injury, and they're still tending to her. So Paraguay down numbers. In the first half, the U.S. outshot Paraguay 12-5. 4-1 quarter advantage in the first 45. U.S. in attack mode. Here's Smith, who bends it for her second. Make it 5-0 Americans.
Well, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and that is the option that the United States decides to take right here. Perfectly timed run by Sophia Smith. And then look at her first touch on target. Cool, calm, collected. expected. She knows exactly where she's going with this. Opens her hips up just enough to sneak it around the outstretched Ortiz, but maintains the ball on target to that post. And Sophia Smith, really a class and step above on the field today.
She's really showing us something. 23 goals now at the U-20 level. One more, and she will approach the likes of Kelly O'Hara and Lindsey Horan with 24. Chasing Sydney Leroux at 29 isn't out of question either.
We see Abigail Kim, number 17, on that right flank. She's somebody who plays at Cal, is known for her athleticism, her speed, her ability to get in behind. So I think that she can take advantage of that against a fatiguing back line in Paraguay.
He spoke to the dominance of U.S. soccer. In fact, the USA has qualified for every one of these U-20 World Cups. Now 9 of them. Brazil, Germany, Nigeria, the other countries to have done the same. Here is DeMello, gets pushed from behind. There's the whistle.
And that should be a yellow card, yeah.
To Aguilera.
Defenders. DeMello really in on that opportunity with a chance to go directly to goal.
And so in the first half, we have seen the U.S. play these set pieces in this sort of similar distance a couple of different ways. Played short to the open side. It'll be Smith trying to place it.
Continue to watch Brianna Pinto as she's inserted into the game, number 8. She finds herself along the front line for the U.S., but somebody who's great in possession, can play at center mid position too. And talking to her future coach at UNC, Anson Dorrance, he said one of the reasons that he likes her so much is that she has this ability to be able to continue to possess. As we take a look back at Sophia Smith and her goal just a few moments ago. But Brianna Pinto, watch her movement. She's somebody who I think has a real bright future with this under-20 team and potentially with the United States, as possession movement in that area of the pitch is such a huge part of the international game.
Has a mom with some pedigree from North Carolina. Played softball at North Carolina, then got an MBA at Duke. Is that allowed? Apparently.
Makes a lot of sense. She'll be headed to UNC in the fall.
I mentioned the couple of call-ups for the senior team. No caps yet for Pinto. Is Smith looking to find Pinto?
Those are the tactical spaces that she likes to find herself in. And that's one of her real strengths and a differentiator for her in the game.
Both those goals coming today for Sophia Smith, who, by the way, came into this World Cup with a youth national team record. She had a 9-game scoring streak that was snapped in that match against Japan. Well, where does that rank? How about Michelle Akers had a 9-game scoring streak in 1991 at the senior level? And that's why it is fun for fans to watch this level, whether it's the U-20 or the U-17. Who are the future stars for USA Soccer? I think it's safe to say Sophia Smith is kind of trying to place her name in that category.
Certainly, and Ashley Sanchez, though she's been subbed out of the match, she's somebody we've been talking about for many, many years. And I have to remind myself sometimes that we're talking about teenagers because we have been talking about a player like Ashley Sanchez for so many years, but real potential to make it to the next level for a few of these key players.
There you see some of the speed and physicality of Chamorro, challenging Pickett. Again, France hosting the 9th edition of this U-20 World Cup. FIFA mandates that the host of the Women's World Cup also stages this U-20 event the year before. And the FIFA World Cup will be coming to France in 2019 between 9 different cities for that event.
What is it, about 300 days away?
302.
302,
I think,
I'm sorry.
I was told. Of course, Fox will be your home for all of those matches. Look out, Abigail Kim going at speed, placing it. Oh, Smith nearly had the hat trick. Inches away.
What unselfish play by Abigail Kim right now. Gets her head up, looks to find Sophia Smith, makes the right choice here. Sophia Smith just goes with the wrong surface. She reaches out with her right foot, would have done better to poke it in with that left. I think it would have had a better opportunity to stay on target.
And they are going to continue to have those opportunities because Isabel Ortiz isn't pulling back with her aggressiveness in goal for Paraguay. It's how she plays. It's how she's going to continue to play. Here's Howell with the takeaway. Vicky as Kim was after it.
Well, we spoke with Neil McGuire, head coach at Cal and head coach for Abigail Kim at the college game. He said she's always been athletic. It's part of what they saw in her when they recruited her as a high school player. But she's continuing to work on the variety she has in finishing and the technical ability she has in front of goal. He says he's always careful and doesn't want to compare her too much to a player like an Alex Morgan because Alex Morgan is cream of the crop when it comes to players at Cal, but he often reminds her that a player like Alex Morgan is somebody who has added variety to her goal scoring ability, but also talks about players like Ariel Shipp and the confidence she has, or Ife Onumonu, both of whom play in the NWSL. So using those examples out of Cal to really spur on current players in the game.
We'll play it back to Laurel Ivory. I mentioned that Ivory, McGlynn, the two top keepers for the U.S. And really, it's kind of timing when it comes to picking your keepers, when it comes to even just making a spot on a roster for keepers.
Amanda McGlynn played a huge role in qualifying campaign.
Smith on the attack as DeMello finds DeMello, and a save off the line. And DeMello again, she's going for a hat trick. We will see our first look of Penelope Hocking, who will play her soccer at USC, taking the place of Sophia Smith, and a well-deserved hand from the American fans in attendance.
I look forward to watching Sophia Smith for many years to come.
They needed a big performance from their stars. They have gotten it here so far. And Penelope Penelope Hocking will be the new kid at USC. She's also the new kid here for the USA. And she can play that 9 spot for the Americans.
She's a goal scorer. She's competitive. Though I feel like we say that about a lot of the attackers for the United States. But certainly somebody who has the speed to get in behind. And another young player who is looking to make an impact on this under 20 level. And also at the college game when she heads to USC upon returning from France in this tournament.
She's got a twin sister who will play at Arizona. The head coach at USC, Donnie McAlpine, asked them, do you want to play your college soccer together? And they said, no, you know, I think it'll be good to go our own separate ways. So twin sis will be at Arizona, and Penelope will play her soccer at USC. And she led the Development Academy in scoring for the entire country this year. That has been an emphasis in U.S. soccer as of late.
Yeah, the first year for the Development Academy on the girls' side, and the real pipeline at the club level to choose players on the under 17 and the under 20 national team rosters.
And there has to be that union, there has to be that development, there has to be that partnership between the national team and the colleges. I mean, you're talking about players as they go to maybe like 7 or 8 camps here throughout the year that will take them away quite possibly from some of their college commitments.
Yeah, and many of the coaches that we spoke to in the college game really talked about how Jitka Klimkova has done a really good job in communicating with the college and club coaches so these players can stay healthy. They understand the balance and the load that they're putting their bodies through, whether it be in national team camp or back in the college game. There's so many more demands on these young women as compared to when I was a player at this age, and so that communication and balance is even more critical than it's been in years past.
Jitka Klimkova even took a trip in 2017 to specifically target some colleges to talk to the head coaches and make sure there is that partnership, that they're all on the same page in terms of a strategy on how best to use these players. And you talk to any of the college head coaches, and yeah, it's tough. Some of these programs are losing 2, 3, 4 players, not just who play for the U.S., but for some of the other countries in this World Cup competition. But they all, when they're up against it, will say it ultimately comes down to the development of these young student athletes, and that is the priority. Combination out to Pinto on the left side. She will send it in. And a couple of Americans with a chance. Kim was one of them.
Well, great service by Brianna Pinto. And Penelope Hocking is going to want that one back. Tough to miss from inside the 6-yard box. At that point, for me, you go with your head and that run. You get down low and you go with your head as opposed to reaching up high.
Another opportunity, DeMello. Penelope Hocking, by the way, had played in the U-19 team coached by Klimkova at the time. So though she doesn't have a whole lot of U-20 experience, very comfortable with her head coach. A foul committed by the Americans. Jitka Klimkova talked about her 20 years of experience with the USA, New Zealand, Australia, the Czech Republic. She grew up wanting to play soccer. There weren't a whole lot of opportunities. Grew up in a town in the Czech Republic with only 700 people and was forced to only play with the boys. Wanted to make the national team, eventually filtered into the coaching ranks, and now finds herself as the head coach of the U-20 club. Here is Hocking, who turns, has some choices, and lays it off for Kim. Back the other way, DeMello has her hat trick.
Well, Savannah DeMello has the hat trick on the day, but the credit for this goal has to go to Penelope Hocking and Abigail Kim. Penelope Hocking takes this turn, engages the first defender, and has a perfectly weighted ball into Abigail Kim, who can run right onto it. Her first touch is a gloss that is all the way on the ground, an easy finish for an outstretched DeMello inside the 6-yard box.
A goal in the 39th minute, in the 44th minute. Smiles around on the American sideline. You can add another here in the second half for DeMello. Guijarro of Spain had a hat trick in the first match against Paraguay. And Group C now has another hat trick. Pinto going down hard. Pinto, one of those players born in 2000, so she will be eligible for the 2020 FIFA U-20 World Cup, if that's an option.
Commanding performance by the United States through the first 80 minutes of this match. And when we spoke with Jitka Klimkova last week, she talked about how she's been so impressed with the development of this team in 2018. She thought that their qualifying campaign really was quite an average performance, but she's liked the progress. She's liked their improvement in possession. She thinks the team has really come together in terms of connection and chemistry, and can't say enough about this squad.
Here comes Abigail Kim once again. She has Hocking. Oh, Penelope Hocking. The opportunity she's had in the last couple of minutes.
Well, Abigail Kim has the assist on the recent goal to DeMello, but she should have 2 more. Sophia Smith missed a perfectly weighted pass by Abigail Kim, and another one right there. Penelope Hocking should do better to put on target and get in the back of the net.
Jitka Klimkova talking about how Americans are unique when she was introduced to U.S. soccer since January of 2015. She addressed to us how competitive everyone is during the sessions, during the games. She says, I love the mentality. Every session is competitive. We train like every game is like a World Cup final game.
And I think that's part of the culture of the U.S. women's national team at every level. Every training is competitive. And it's a great example here. I mean, 25 shots in favor of the United States to 5 by Paraguay. And really the number that stands out to me, 0 shots on target for Paraguay. Laura Ivory has not been tested today.
Kim again. And bending service. Yeah, that's what stood out to me. Paraguay has had pockets of opportunities in this match, but 0 shots on frame. There are questions for this American team coming into today, and they have answered with flying colors. They needed a result, but they also needed a very positive goal differential. Now a 6-0 advantage. Beating Paraguay wasn't going to be enough today. They had to do it in a defining fashion. And you see Martinez and Howell colliding. Will set up a set piece here for Paraguay. Outshot by 20 today. Again, no shots on goal as of yet for the Paraguayans. Into the 83rd minute of play. A very driven ball right at the frame. Martinez was going for it.
And a bit ambitious. from that distance for me, but she gets it close right there. Jessica Martinez, certainly somebody who's scored goals for Paraguay, plays with a lot of confidence. And it's important for the United States, though. We've talked about goal differential. Part of that is making sure that you keep a clean sheet. And so it's going to be important for the United States to stay compact defensively in this final 10 minutes, for Laurel Ivory to continue to stay plugged in. She hasn't been called upon. So making sure she stays sharp throughout the remainder of this game.
A direct ball up to Penelope Hocking. Chases it down, taking on Alonso. Hocking wants to get that goal. And Martinez has been beat up a little bit today. A rare touch in this second half for Laurel Ivory. Here's Kim laying it off for Hocking.
And Penelope Hocking hasn't quite been able to connect with Abigail Kim. Had a few moments where she's going to want the opportunity back. But those players that find themselves grow into games are the ones who continue to gain some confidence. She needs to continue to go at it, continue to dribble at players. She's going to be a key potential off of the bench for Jitka Klimkova. And she needs to build confidence in this tournament. It's not just the starting 11. It's not just playing behind a Sophia Smith. It's finding a way when your number is called upon to make a difference. The best players don't have to be great in every moment. They just have to find those few special moments to be great.
A look at Jalen Howell, who's logged the most minutes out of anyone on this roster coming into World Cup competition, being helped up by her teammates. Very rare for her to miss anything.
A tough competitor. Her father played in the NFL, played for the Buccaneers, Super Bowl champion, and Mark Krikorian, her coach at Florida State, tells us that the real differentiator for Jalen Howell is her competitive spirit. It's something she's grown up with and it's embodied her whole life.
Mentioned her dad, he was a safety on that Super Bowl winning Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. She was only 3 years old when he won the Super Bowl, but he has now become a football, if not a football fan. Watching his daughter, there's a save being tested by Ivory, and she answers.
When you are a goalkeeper for the United States, you are often playing with a team in front of you that has dominant performances, and you are not often called upon to make saves, but when you are expected to come up with ones like that.
Corner opportunity, looking to preserve the clean sheet. And Ivory was perhaps anticipating that Martinez chance. Martinez had gone for it in the previous set piece. And a push from behind, that'll be a foul against Jessica Martinez. So the first meeting between these two countries at the U-20 World Cup level. Again, a lot of these players had met up at the World Cup at the U-17 level. 10 players from Paraguay were on that team. Several contributors for the Americans were on that team. U.S. won that match 6-1. And they lead here 6-0 in the U-20 version.
And just a real dominant performance by the United States. Took them 10-15 minutes to get going, but once they did, they didn't turn back. And especially in this second half, just moments into the second 45, Sophia Smith getting another goal, and the United States dominating Paraguay from start to finish.
Final few minutes of this match. The first goal, as you mentioned, took place in the 15th minute by Smith. The second goal coming in the 39th minute. And it was almost like after goal number 2, you sensed a little bit of a different confidence for the Americans today.
And they were under some pressure coming into this game, knowing they needed a result against Paraguay to give themselves a chance in the final game of group play against Spain, who sits atop the table with 6 points in Group C.
Only a question now of how much extra time will be added now in the 90th minute. Again, the match to watch will be coming up Monday, August 13th on FS2. U.S. will take on Spain, who right now is in the top of Group C. A 1-0 decision against Japan on this field earlier today. Two minutes of extra time will be added. Floated ball. DeMello with the hat trick. A couple of goals in the first half and a goal, the final goal, the 6th goal for the Americans here in the second half. Final minute of the match. If you were going to have to script out a response for Jitka Klimkova, this would probably go close to her kind of script.
Great performance all around by the United States. Obviously standout performances by Savannah DeMello and Sophia Smith in terms of goal production, but overall better connected play and build up through the midfield, which is an area of focus for this team, and Jitka Klimkova. Solid defensively, though they weren't challenged very often, albeit on set pieces by Jessica Martinez. Laurel Ivory coming up big with a save late in the second half, but really a convincing performance by the United States from start to finish. Exactly what you want heading into the final game of group play.
Just waiting for the final whistle. There it is. 3 points for the U.S. One of the stars, Sophia Smith. What a playmaker she was today. Backed up by the hat trick from Savannah DeMello.
And just the rhythm and the possession overall was an improvement upon the first game against Japan, and something that is going to be key going forward and looking towards Spain. Spain certainly a cut above this Paraguayan team, the minnow of Group C, but the United States making the most of their opportunity in Game 2, a game where they needed to build confidence. It came at the right time, and they have set themselves up well to take on Spain at the top of the group on Monday.
They have leapfrogged over Japan with the 3 points and the +5 goal differential, which as of right now, after 2 matches, stands as the best right now in Group C. Again, that match to watch will be the United States taking on Spain, and you can watch that on FS2 on Monday, August 13th.
The United States really needing to be in that position against Spain to go after the win. They need 3 points.
Lots of highlights to look back on in this match. The United States and Paraguay, all the goals. This one getting started in the 15th minute. Sophia Smith going to work.
Sophia Smith doing it in tight spaces, finishes to the near post, and this is where the confidence began to build for the United States. She gets the assist on the Savannah DeMello goal, looking to shoot again, but DeMello in the right place, picking up the rebound.
USA went up 2-0 at that point. They weren't done. 44th, USA on the attack. Erin Gilroy starts it.
And this is the exact way that you want to finish the first half. 3-0 at 45.
46th minute, now into the second half. Guess who? It's Smith again, and she finds Ashley Sanchez for the first time.
Finding a way to build on that momentum as they head into the second half, but they were not done yet. Substitutions coming into the match. Abigail Kim making the run out wide, and Sophia Smith using that space to go direct route 1 up the middle against the Paraguayan defense.
You said Penelope Hawking was valuable on this play. She set it up. Abigail Kim finding Savannah DeMello for her hat